Alright, in the last video we were talking about two of the different forms of writing an equation of a line. We talked about the point-slope form and the slope-intercept form. Today we're going to talk about the standard form. And the standard form, the basic formula for this is ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c will be different numbers. Okay? So for example, 3x minus 4y equals 6. So the objective is to find out where the line intersects the axis at. Okay, so in this case right here and right here. Okay, so in order to do that, there are some different steps we can do to graph these. So step one is you're going to write this equation twice because you're going to be solving it in two different ways. The second step is that you are going to substitute 0 in for x in one equation and solve. So you will then be solving for y. Then you're going to substitute a 0 in for y and find your x. And then you're going to plot those 2 points and draw. So for example, in our original example, 3x minus 4y equals 6, first we're going to substitute 0 for x, and we found that y equals negative 3 over 2 as we go through and solve it. The next thing we're going to do is do the exact same thing, only instead of putting 0 in for x, we're going to put 0 in for y, solve, and we find that x equals 2. Now, what on earth does this tell us? This is actually telling us the two intercepts for our line. So for example, our first point, if we know that y is negative 3, 2, our first point is going to be 0, negative 3, 2, or negative 1/2. So I'm going to go 0, negative 3 1/2, right where this star is. Our second point, since we found that x was 2, our second point is x comma 0, or 2 comma 0, so we're going to go over to 2, 0, put a point, and then draw a line between those 2 points. Alright, so let's try an example together. So we have 2x plus 5y equals 20. I'm just going to move our directions out of the way for a second so I can write. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put my 0 in for my x. So I'm going to have 2 times 0 equals 5y equals 20. So we know 2 times 0 is just 0. So then I'm left with 5y equals 20. Divide both sides by 5. And y will equal 4. So my first point will be 0, 4. Alright, the next step I'm going to do 2x. And then I'm going to substitute y, and I'm going to plug 0 in there. So I'm going to have 5 times 0 equals 20. Okay, cross that out. So then I can divide by 2 on both sides because we know 5 times 0 is 0. So I'm just going to skip that step. So I'm going to get x equals 10. So my next point will be x, or will be 10, excuse me, 0. That's a 1, a wonky one, but a 1. Alright, so then what I can do is I can go, okay, 0, 4. Alright, and then I can go, or 0, 4, excuse me. Wow, I'm really off today. And then 10, which is going to be somewhere over here, 0. I can take my line, stretch it out, and that would be my line. All right. So we will be working with all three of the different types of solving um, equations of lines and graphing them tomorrow.